Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Nehemiah, the 3rd chapter. Just picking up from where we left off. At this point, we have Nehemiah, which is now, he's now in Jerusalem, right? Having gotten permission from King Artaxerxes. He's now in Jerusalem, and he went about inspecting, right, the damage that had been done, right, what the walls, the condition of the city was looking like before he ended up telling the chief of the people and all of them ultimately what his plans were in terms of rebuilding the walls. So here we are in Nehemiah 3, and the bulk of this chapter really goes into those that contributed to the building of the wall, who was in charge of building what, and so on and so forth. So this is the book of Nehemiah chapter 3 verse 1. And keep in mind, this was the actual wall, all right, around Jerusalem, because it was that's why it was called a defense city or a fortress, because you had the temple, right, you had the city, and then you had the wall that would protect it, that was round about. And that's why when the enemies came to lay siege upon Jerusalem, it would take X amount of years, sometimes 1 year, sometimes more, because they had to try and get through those walls. All right, so it says here, Nehemiah 3:1, then Eliashib the high priest rose up with his brethren the priests, and they builded the sheep gate, they sanctified it, and set up doors of it. Even onto the tower of Mea, they sanctified it, onto the tower of Hananiel. And next unto him builded the men of Jericho. And next to them builded Zachor, the son of Imri. But the fish gate did the sons of Hasenaah build, who also laid the beams thereof, and set up the doors thereof, the locks thereof, and the bars thereof. Now, keep in mind, right, it's in this chapter, it's comprised, right, of all the different builders, what they did. But even though it's like verse by verse, this wasn't happening, say, in like a couple of hours, right? Because this building here, it was massive. It was a big project. So it's not like something that just took a couple of hours to do. Verse 4, and next unto them repaired Meremoth, the son of Urijah, the son of Koz. And next unto them repaired Meshullam, the son of Berechiah, the son of Meshezabil. And next unto them repaired Zadok, the son of Baanah. So when it says next unto them repaired, meaning, this, like, for example, Zadok repaired whatever the case, whatever part it is. So you can imagine the wall being round about the city, right? So if one group of people start here, then they go up to a certain point, then continuing from there, another group, and then going on and on and on. And next on to them, the Tekoites repaired, but their nobles put not their necks to the work of the Lord. And if we look this up in another translation, like the NLT, for example, it says here, next were the people of Tekoa, though their leaders refused to work with the construction supervisors. You also have in the NIV, it says the next section was repaired. See, that's a better wording, right? The next section was repaired by the men of Tekoa, but the nobles would not put their shoulders to the work on their supervisors. And ESV, it says, and next to them, I'm just reading a few translations here to make it a bit clearer. So it says, and next unto them, the Tekoites repaired, but their nobles would not stoop to serve their Lord. So they had they had a problem here, putting their hands to work under their overseers, or those that were, as it says here, masters and so on. And I believe the word there for Lord should be Adawan. Yeah, Adawan, which means, a ruler, one over you. Continuing, verse 6, Moreover, the old gate repaired Jehoiada, the son of Paseah, and Meshullam, the son of Besodeiah. They laid the beams thereof, and set up the doors thereof, and the locks thereof, and the bars thereof. And next unto them repaired Melatiah the Gibeonite, and Jadon the Meronothite, the men of Gibeon and of Mizpah, onto the throne of the governor on this side the river. And let's look at this in the NLT. It says here, next to them were Melatiah from Gibeon, Jadon from Meronoth, people from Gibeon, and people from Mizpah, the headquarters of the governor of the prince west of the Euphrates River. And remember that Nehemiah had gotten permission from the king also to get the resources needed to do this building, right? And also the help and permission from these governors to allow them to continue to build the walls. Now, as we continue to read the book of Nehemiah, what you'll see is there does come a time where our adversaries around us try to hinder us, right? Because when we read, I believe it was the second chapter, you had Sanballat and forget this guy's name, but Tobijah, I believe that was him, who were against having somebody like Nehemiah come and try to help the condition of Israel. So eventually they start going to the point of physically trying to stop us and hinder us. And this was prophesied, right? When we go to the book of Daniel, this was told to Daniel in Daniel the 9th chapter as part of that prophecy that ended up leading through until Yahushai's Yahushai coming on the scene and then ultimately having to die, right? That's in Daniel 9, and I believe starting at 20. Point I want to get here is 25. So it says, know therefore, Daniel 9 and 25, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks. And we know, so basically the angel was telling Daniel from the time period of when you're given permission to go back and rebuild Jerusalem, which that commandment started with Cyrus and then was reinforced by Darius, which was when we were able to finish the building of the temple. But then now, as we're reading of here, with the time of Artaxerxes, we had permission then to go and complete the building by building the walls, right? So the angel says here, from the time of that commandment going out until Yahushai, right, that's the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks, right? Which when you do the math on that, the 7 weeks is not actually a like literal 7 weeks, right? Each week is 7 years. Okay, so that 7 weeks is 7 times 7, right? Because each week being 7 years, if you want to get the exact amount of years that this would have been. Long story short, it says here 7 weeks and 62 weeks. Now a score is 20, right? So 3 score is 60. So you have 60 and 2, that's 62 weeks, plus that 7 weeks, which puts us at 69 weeks. Okay, and if you do the math, a week being about 7 years, then you can get, right around how long that would have been, roughly. We've done lessons on it. I'm not going to go into the details of the math here, but the focal point of this verse that I wanted to get is the latter sentence here, which says, the street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. All right, and that's the part right there that we are going to see as we continue to read in the book of Nehemiah, because now we're at the point of the wall being built. So we're reading about it right now, and now we're going to see an example also of why it was mentioned in troublous times, because we were troubled when building the temple, right, and restoring the city, but also when building the walls. So continuing Nehemiah chapter 3 verse 8. Next unto him repaired Uzziel, the son of Harhiah of the goldsmiths. Next unto him repaired Hananiah, the son of one of the apothecaries, and they fortified Jerusalem onto the broad wall. And all these names that they're mentioning, like I mentioned in the previous video, these are names of locations in Jerusalem, right? Or in the land. Similar to how we have names today that you may say George Washington Bridge. Somebody that is not familiar with our time, that's maybe reading about this, to them, they're like, who the hell is this guy? Right? But we know where, if you mention the GW Bridge to somebody that lives in New York, they know what you're talking about. They know what land masses it connects. They know why you would take that, right? So if you read about the GW Bridge collapse, for example, then I know where that's at. So similarly, you may read in here, you hear about the Fish Gate, or this place or that place. Right, the word apothecary here, we have ointment maker or perfumer. Let's see what else they have. Yeah, that's pretty much all they have on here. Let me actually look this up on here, see a bit more they can tell us. Actually, let's utilize the dictionary option on here. The dictionaries. Let's take a look here at. Oh, interesting. They don't have it. They don't have it here. Not that I'm seeing. So it says here, apothecary, a person who prepared and sold medicines and drugs. Eventually, he became an apothecary, which allowed him to pursue his interest in chemistry. See if they have any other things to say on that. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? One who prepares and sells drugs or compounds for medicinal purposes. So there you go. Back to Nehemiah 3 verse 9. And next unto them repaired Rephaiah, the son of Hur, the ruler of the half part of Jerusalem. And next unto them repaired Jedaiah, the son of Harumath, even over against his house. And next unto him repaired Hattush, the son of Hashibniah. Malchijah, the son of Harim, and Hashub, the son of Pahath Moab, repaired the other piece, and the tower of the furnaces. And next unto him repaired Shallum, the son of Haloshesh, or Halahesh, the ruler of the half part of Jerusalem, and he and his daughters. So remember in the second chapter, when Nehemiah was going about to look at the condition of the city, he hadn't told anybody yet. But after he told them, it mentioned the rulers, right, the priests, the princes, the common folk, everybody. And once he told them, the spirit jumped on them to where everybody wanted to get involved. So that's why we're reading about all these different people here and the roles that they played in building the wall. Verse 13, the valley gate repaired Hanun, and the inhabitants of Zanoah. They built it, and set up the doors thereof, the locks thereof, and the bars thereof, and 1,000 cubits on the wall unto the dung gate. So there goes another example, right? Now somebody, if you were living back then, you'd know exactly where and what the dung gate was, like where it was. As far as we know, to us, it's the name of one of the places over there. It says, but the dung gate repaired Malchiah, the son of Rechab, the ruler of part of Beth Haserem. He built it and set up the doors thereof, the locks thereof, and the bars thereof. But the gate of the fountain repaired Shallun, the son of Kolhoseh, the ruler of part of Mizpah. He built it and covered it, and set up the doors thereof, the locks thereof, and the bars thereof. And the wall of the pool of Siloah by the king's garden, and onto the stairs that go down from the city of David. After him repaired Nehemiah the son of Azbuk, the ruler of half of the part of Bethzor, onto the place over against the sepulchres of David, and to the pool that was made, and onto the house of the mighty. I just want to look up something real quick. All right, so just to clarify here, right? This Nehemiah here is a different. This is not the Nehemiah that we are reading about right now. Okay, when you go to Nehemiah 1:1, it tells you who this Nehemiah was, right? The son of Hakaliah. Here, this is the son of Azbuk. So it's a different. They just have the same name. Verse 13. After him repaired the Levites, Rehum the son of Bani. Next unto him repaired Hashabiah, the ruler of the half part of Keilah, in his part. After him repaired their brethren, Bavai the son of Hanadad, the ruler of the half part of Keilah. And next unto him repaired Ezer, the son of Jeshua, the ruler of Mizpah, another piece over against the going up to the armory at the turning of the wall. After him Baruch the son of Zabai earnestly repaired the other piece from the turning of the wall onto the door of the house of Eliashib the high priest, right? Because remember, the wall wasn't just like a one. Let me see if I can get an image here and see. Jerusalem Bible, and not the Jerusalem Bible. Let's see. All right, let's look at Bible Times. Okay. Well, this is just an example, but here you see, right? Typically in major cities like that, you had the main gate, and you had the walls around it, and these walls, you had people that could, I believe you actually had people that could reside in here in order to get to the top of the wall, they would be able to go through, and there would be like stairs inside. And also you would have, if say the city was on a siege or something like that, that's when you would have the soldiers on the walls, and they would be defending the city. The point that I'm making here is the wall wasn't just a straight line. It wasn't just a straight horizontal line. It would curve, it would turn in order to wrap around the city. So as we're reading here, right, and it mentions here from the turning of the wall, right, onto the door of the house of Eliashib the high priest, then you can understand and have some mental visual as to, what's happening here. Verse 21, after him repaired Meremoth the son of Urijah, the son of Koz, another piece, from the door of the house of Eliashib, even to the end of the house of Eliashib. And after him repaired the priests, the men of the plain. After him repaired Benjamin and Hashub, over against their house. After him repaired Azariah, the son of Maaseiah, the son of Ananiah, by his house. After him repaired Binui, the son of Henadad, another piece, from the house of Azariah onto the turning of the wall, even onto the corner. Palau, the son of Uzai, over against the turning of the wall, and the tower which lieth out from the king's high house. That was the court of the prison. After him Pedaiah, the son of Parosh. Moreover, the Nethinims dwelt in Ophel, onto the place over against the water gate toward the east, and the tower that lieth out. And the Nethinims, when you go into it, they are identified as pretty much like temple servants that were given to the Levites to help in assisting in whatever they needed them to do, because there was a lot of work, right? Imagine when there are a lot of sacrifices, or there's a holy day and you need, get this, go get that, bring this one over here, do this over here. Now, of course, there were certain parts of these rituals that only the priests themselves would actually execute, because they were the ones sanctified to do so. But in terms of like fill up this basin with water or X, Y, and Z, it would be helpful to have those servants doing that. Verse 27, after them the Tekoites repaired another piece, over against the great tower that lieth out, even unto the wall of Ophel. From above the horse gate repaired the priests, every one over against his house. After them repaired Zadok the son of Immer over against his house. After him repaired also Shemaiah the son of Shechaniah, the keeper of the east gate. After him repaired Hananiah the son of Shelemiah, and Hanun the sixth son of Zalaph, another piece. After him repaired Meshullam the son of Berechiah over against his chamber. After him repaired Malchiah the goldsmith's son unto the place of the Nethinims, and of the merchants over against the gate Mifkad, and to the going up of the corner. And between the going up of the corner onto the sheep gate repaired the goldsmiths and the merchants. And that's the end of the book of Nehemiah, the 3rd chapter. As you can see, the bulk of this chapter was really going into identifying and recording, okay, who built what, who designed what, who, in terms of the building of the wall, who contributed to what, and so on and so forth. So anyway, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.